if we could, but I don't know if we could force that, if we had to have a traffic study, to do it necessary.
At 7 o'clock, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I ask everyone to stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Ross?
Yes.
Nancy? Eric?
Yes.
Jay?
Yes.
Andrea? Yes.
Okay, all of you should have received the May 6th council meeting minutes. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes?
No.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as so moved? I have a motion by Ross. Is there a second?
Second.
Good.
Second by Andrea. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. All of you should have also received the public hearing minutes. Any corrections or additions? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Eric. Is there a second? Second. Second by Jay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next one was the special council meeting minutes from May the 20th. Any corrections or additions? I have a motion to accept those as distributed.
Motion.
Motion by Jay, second.
Second.
Second by Eric. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. And finally, everyone should have received a copy of the May 20th committee of the whole meeting minutes. Any corrections or additions?
Alan,
Yes.
point of order.
No, he recorded it as you on the second.
Right, but if she wasn't here, can she motion or second?
Yes.
She can,
Because
okay,
it's just
just,
the minutes,
okay,
right?
Yes.
okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
No problem. Any corrections or additions to the May 20th committee of the whole meeting minutes?
Motion to accept.
Have a motion to accept from Ross. Is there a second? Second. Second by Jay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We'll move on to administrative reports, starting with the mayor's report. I have nothing at this time. Move on down to the village solicitor's report.
Nothing to report this time.
Do we have any questions for the solicitor at this time? Okay. Police chief's report. Chief?
I'll have the monthly activities given out for you all at the committee of the whole. I did today, me and the mayor, we signed a conditional offer for a new officer coming on board. His start date will be July 1st. I felt that was the appropriate time, give him plenty of time to turn in a notice at his current employer, and also to give us time to get his physical done. He's passed his psychological, his polygraph exam is complete. It's just get him scheduled in, get the physical. We're kind of the mercy of Ohio Health. That's who we contract, but he did have contact with him today, so it'll be pretty rapidly. I have an interview with another candidate this week to take a look at him as well. So with the gentleman we just gave the conditional offer to, that will put us back up to a staff of 7 out of 8. And of course, depending what goes on with this interview, if it's something that pans out, then we hire him, everything's successful, put us back at 8.
Thank you.
Okay. Do anybody have any questions for the chief?
Yeah, chief, for the homecoming, I mean, since we're down, is coverage going to be an issue that we need to reach out to the sheriff's office to see if they can always have somebody here as an A unit or something, or are you good?
That's already been covered. Basically, the sheriff has assigned me the SRO
Okay.
that worked over here at the school. So that week he will basically be a commercial point cop in a deputy uniform. And also former Sergeant McCrabb is under him for his FTO period, which means we gather him as well. So yeah, the sheriff, he has extended, and that's 2 paid deputies.
Yeah.
So that's guaranteed, that's their shift. Not to mention if they have any auxiliary units, usually they do get a handful of auxiliary officers. I'll be here every night for the homecoming festival as well, along with the scheduled officers that's out anyway. So I feel that we'll have a pretty good grasp for the handling everything law enforcement wise for the homecoming festival.
So the scheduled officers, they'll be able to be out in the community instead of having to be out there.
Yeah, they won't have to be over there. Now, I'll have them over there in and out some, if not more than anything, to get a corn dog. But they'll be in and out as well, but if there's a call, they'll be the primary ones for a call. Now, obviously, if it's an officer in trouble, I'm in the festival to go assist, along with the deputies. But, yeah, the Sheriff Hafey was good about giving us 2 paid deputies for that week to assist. That's a pretty big help.
Absolutely. Thank you. I just,
Excellent.
the community was concerned about that time. I just wanted to put it out there that we were well taken care of. And so thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Any other questions for the chief? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Village administrators report.
As always, I got something to say about everything. Once again, bring council up to date. I'd like to keep you informed of where we are in water and sewer treatment issues. The water treatment plant, the average daily flow for May was 436,000 gallons a day with a capacity of 1 million gallons. So we still have a little bit of cushion as far as the water. Wastewater, average daily flow was 325,000. Again, the plant was 430,000. So that one kind of just keep bumping up against it. But we're having good progress on the new wastewater plant. It's still scheduled for sometime in late November, early December of this year. We can meet that schedule. That would put us where we want to be and give us capacity for future things that happen. Another bit of good news, we did hire a new operator. Found a good gentleman, Nate Kinsey, Kinzey. He's a class 3 wastewater operator and a class 1 water plant operator. And we needed a class 3 with our new plant, so he fits right in there. He started on May 13th, so we've got a couple weeks in there. Talking to the guys, he seemed to have a good relationship with not only the existing guys, but our superintendent, so look real positive on how that's going. And I'll take any questions.
Any questions?
But just a couple of things, it's been a while since we've talked about the water tower. Is there anything going on we should know about that?
The water tower, the plans are, one little thing to tweak on it, as far as size of pumps. But it's ready to go to bids, whenever things are ready. We're kind of working with a couple of developers for financing, to kind of put the package together. And once that is worked out, we're prepared to plug and put it out for bids.
Yeah, I
The
appreciate
council has already passed the legislation allowing us to go to bids as soon as we're ready to go. So that one's ready.
it. Good, thank you, John.
Anything else for the administrator?
No.
Thanks, John. Up next is the village engineers report.
Thank you. I just have a couple things. So with the industrial park, Rickenbacker Exchange, so lot 9, that is IDI as the developer. They had submitted the sanitary sewer plan, which you approved in the last meeting. So we have done our review of that. We had a few comments, so we submitted those to the engineer. They also submitted plans for 2 of the buildings, G1, G3. So we have reviewed those construction documents and have provided back just a few comments on those as well. Also at the industrial park, lot 11. Lot 11 is at the very north end. Pizzuti or Hart is the developer. They have already constructed the first building. We prepared a punch list of items. They went through that list and they've now requested us to perform another walkthrough so they can swap out performance bond for maintenance bond. So we're working on that. And then also at Foxfire, we've done an additional walkthrough. Foxfire created a list of a handful of items that still need to be addressed on the punch list, and I've shared that with MI. And I know they're working to get those wrapped up as well. Is any questions for me?
The Foxfire, was that the one that we just allowed permits for? Is that section?
Permits.
Well, I thought everything had passed and they were allowed to start building in that section. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, the new Foxfire, your walkthrough was on section,
3.
was on phase
Phase 2.
2.
So this,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, I'm
this is
sorry.
Their maintenance bond. So they have a maintenance bond. Before it expires, we like to walk the site, just make sure everything is still as it should be. We found a few little
Okay.
deficiencies, so.
When they do the walkthrough, they'll mark things, whether a curb box has been damaged or a curb is cracked or something. And Susan will put together a punch list for the developer. Developer will go back in, take care of everything. Once everything's been taken care of, the developers all give us a performance bond, which guarantees that that phase will be completed. And what we do, once they satisfy the punch list and the village is okay and everyone signs off on it, then we exchange a performance bond for a 1-year maintenance bond.
Oh.
And then we hold the maintenance bond, and before that expires, about the 10th, 11th month, we do another walkthrough. And if anything else has came up cracked or we find any other deficiencies, then the developer is required to fix those before he gets his maintenance bond back. At the end of that time, once we give him back his maintenance bond, then everything is basically belongs to the village. It's all ours. It's all us from that point forward.
Thank you. That's,
I apologize. When you said Foxfire, I automatically thought it was the new one. And I was confused because I knew that was all finished, but thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
good question.
Zoning administrators report.
Report tonight, but I will take any questions.
Have you implemented what we had discussed at the CAL before with the slip papers in addition?
Yes.
How's that going for you?
We started the process actually a couple weeks ago. Al and I sat down and designed a whole, basically a new process for the zoning department and their violation notices and that. And it's going real well.
Good.
Keeping it shut. Most of the people are being paid or taking care of the projects.
Great.
Going real well.
Very good.
Anything else?
Anything else for Jim at this time?
No.
Thanks, Jim. Fiscal officers report. Anything for council? Does council have any questions for the fiscal officer?
I do. The things we're moving later, that was just what come up out of the audit, correct? So in the future, we'll know to put those in those line items. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I read it correctly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Legislative reports. Ross,
I have nothing at this point.
Eric,
I do. To follow up with all the discussion and probably ahead of the public comments tonight on the noise ordinance, I think there's still some confusion that the times are for everybody in the village, and that isn't the case. That is for liquor establishments only. The 150 feet is for everybody. So just asking Bill, I mean, I am correct when I say that, correct? That the times are for the subsection that deals with liquor permits establishments only.
I don't have the statute in front of me, but it is as it is written.
Yeah, okay, and it's under, that section is under, I believe it's B1, and it just says, in addition to the above, any liquor establishment, I have it here, Bill, if you want to. Any liquor establishment is after these hours, so it's not for the whole village. The concern after the meeting, and people would come to me that we were gonna try to shut down, graduation parties at 6 o'clock because the neighbor didn't like it, and that's not in the neighborhoods or anything. I just wanted to maybe educate a little bit because there's been a lot of things going around that were not the case. So other than that, that's all I have.
I believe it was stated at the last committee, the whole meeting. I wasn't there. I watched it. They, I believe Bill would ask everyone to give him their suggestions, and it'll be discussed at the next committee of the whole meeting.
Correct.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Got one comment so far, and that was it.
Okay, so like we said, council's asking your comments to Bill, and we'll get them distributed to all the council members to be discussed at the next committee of the whole meeting. And at that point in time, you can figure out what you want to draft, what you want him to put together for you.
Correct.
Okay, moving on, Andrea,
I have nothing.
Jay. Committee reports for Parks and Rec. I see Nancy in here. Andrea, do you?
We had a good farmer's market, and just remembering that we have the food truck festival coming up this weekend. And we already have road closed signs and that put in, correct? Has that been filed already? Did Nancy do that? Okay, then yeah, we're good with that. Just looking forward to some yummy food trucks coming out. Come out, everybody. It's fun. It's yummy. The park looks nice. I mean, let's enjoy it. Nancy's done a really good job with it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next item we have is public comments. Signed up first to speak is Becky Blevins. Becky? We ask when you come to the podium, council will not be answering any questions, and you'll be given 5 minutes to speak.
Alan, name and address, please.
Yes, and also please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Becky Blevins. I live at 34 Main Street. Can I start?
Go ahead.
Okay. There were suggestions made for concerned citizens to email all the council with your insight onto the new proposed noise ordinance. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time to read mine as well as everybody else's suggestions. And tonight I want to speak exclusively to the loud music, not to children or families that play or ball games or anything else, which doesn't carry very far. None of you live close enough to be affected by the current excessively loud music and noise, which we're about to discuss. Some of you have mentioned the 9 o'clock cutoff. I ask you to stop. Picture yourself trying to have a cookout during the evening dinner hour, which generally starts around 6, entertaining somebody in your backyard, or sleeping without earplugs with excessive loud music and ruckus. This is not directed strictly at Doughboys. It is for any business in Commercial Point that it might affect. Residents should not have to call when when Commercial Point Police Department lacks to enforce. Respect and consideration can be granted by all business entities by simply toning the volume down and saving the imposition of our police department to respond to justified calls. I speak not for myself, but for those who live close enough to be impacted by the excessively loud noise from any business establishment who fear if they call, that there will be retaliation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Up next, we have Greg Kozar.
Good evening, my name is Greg Kozar. I live at 196 Chestnut Commons Drive, Chestnut Commons Development. So I'm bringing up a traffic situation that we've had at Chestnut Commons for a number of years now. We, at Red Oak, at the intersection of Red Oak Pass and Chestnut Commons Drive, there is a stop sign, which nobody ever bothers to take care of, notice. Also at the intersection Sycamore and Chestnut Commons Drive, there was another stop sign, which nobody cares to stop at. Our concern is that we have a lot of young children in the neighborhood. Somebody's gonna get nailed one of these days. I almost got nailed a couple times with my dog. One of our residents has come up with a clever situation where we see somebody speeding down Chestnut Commons Drive, he just rolls the ball out into the street. It seems to stop. So my question to the mayor and council is, could we have a speed limit sign put up at Chestnut Commons Drive? Could we possibly add more stop signs like they did at Rosewood Loop and Sycamore? There used to be one stop sign, they now have 3. Could we maybe add speed bumps like they did over at Chestnut Estates? And then when Chestnut Commons development was being built, we did have a barrier up on Red Oak Pass. That barrier was taken down. Can't be put back up because most of the people coming from Chestnut Estates are the ones that are guilty of the speeding.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I have a little sketch here. I'm more than happy to have it. to show you what the situation is, and show you the copies for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is your phone number on the sheet?
I put my number in the sheet.
Okay.
Is that right? 216?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will get a copy of this to all the council members.
Copy.
Yes.
Put that on the agenda.
If paper crosswalks, that would be nice too. Thank you.
Okay, up next we have Bob White.
Bob White, 219 Sycamore, Chestnut Commons. Got a little problem, and somebody's got to be aware of it. A black GT comes flying in front of my house. This is, several people are concerned about it. I wasn't real concerned, but I seen a little kid across the street started out with he went. And then I also am going to ask a question. I know you're not taking questions. Do we have a noise ordinance?
Yes, we do, sir.
I'm going to tell you, if you do, it won't take long to slow you down a bit. You having fun over there?
He wins.
We're not stopping. More stop signs and also enforcement, it's not very good. They're not even slowing down for it. It's coming around the corner off of the loop back there, boom. Gone. Black GT, so you don't need any license.
Mustang GT, white convertible Camaro, white Dodge Daytona, black hood,
Okay,
all a bunch of our cars.
Okay.
thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Mike Havens. Signed up to speak.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, Joe Voice. I guess I'm just trying to figure out when are we actually going to go through and have an open discussion of some sort about the noise ordinance? How is it going to be handled? How we're going to be separated? We'll separate one place from another. Is it going to ever be, is it the next meeting? Or when is this actually going to happen? That we can voice all of our opinions. Does anybody really have any type of answer on that? I know you don't have an answer, but.
This is a public comment section. You can voice your opinion now.
Well, first thing is, they should never be separated. Whatever goes on in the town should go on in the town. If it's an 8 o'clock curfew, so be it. Time is better than everybody walk around with a machine or 100 foot or this. You have a chief of police that's probably more aware, more capable of handling the situation and knows the times that should be handled. I would definitely go to him and see what his thoughts is first. I mean, if he's having trouble at 8 o'clock, listen to him. But if he's telling me he has no trouble and things are fine till 9, 10, curfew's good, he's the one dealing with it. He's short crewed. He should be the man that we listen to. I think more than anybody. Second thing is, you know, the establishments downtown, I've been here for 100+ years. Whether it's been a bar or whatever you call a liquor establishment, I don't know. We have new ones. You got Foxfire. You got other liquor establishments. You can't pinpoint 2 locations and say these 2 locations would be ineligible to file for a special permit. When anybody else in town whether it's a house, another restaurant, pets, they can file for a special permit, men's club, whoever. But you pick 2 locations possibly that would not be eligible. I'd like to know where that philosophy come from, since I own one. Because that's definitely kind of pinpointing 2 spots out. I've been there 18 years. Chief's right there. I don't remember a lot of problems. We donate tons of money. Bikers are bikers. The bikers are giving a lot back to the community. I'm hearing they're giving like $5,000 for Confederate River. I never don't know for a fact, but they're helping participate and pay for this. A guy that sells bikes. Okay, I'll specify a little differently. I'm just saying that as a business owner, I don't know what's changed. If something changed while I was in Florida for 3 months, 4 months, I don't know about it, but I've never had a problem. Adam's standing right there. I don't know that the bars, or whatever you want to call them, have had these issues. Or why all of a sudden it is a mandatory thing to change the bylaws. If we're disturbing the peace and y'all feel that way, change the bylaws. But across the board. Don't separate us. I'm 8 o'clock. Foxfire's 8 o'clock. I can't draw a permit. I love the men's club, but they can't draw a permit. There's nothing different. You may look it up and say, well, this is a little bit different. That's a little bit different. We all do the same thing. It's not different. We have to make a living here. We support the village 365 days a year. And we're the most giving business in this community. If we can't, Josh, all right?
Not now. Go ahead, have no comments.
I understand that. There's not a business that gives more money away to the community than Doughboys. Okay? If we can't draw a special permit, we can't do the firefighters in the alley that they draw every year for corn. They raise about $2,000 a year for doing that. All I'm saying is, whatever you decide, make it the same, and I think everybody will be happy. If it's 8, 9, so be it. But it goes across the board, and anybody should be able to file for a special permit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Get back on the 2 here.
Okay, up next, we have Mark Anderson.
Mark Anderson on 38 East Iota here in Commercial Point. Live right down here in the bend. Just a little bit to touch on with the noise ordinance and the things that have been discussed, seen on Facebook, listened to in this room, comments posted. I'm a patron of Doughboys. I'm a patron of Station House 81. I go to Pettit's. I live on 762. The truck volume is increasing for warehouses. The speed limit sign is outside my front door, so when it says 50 miles an hour, you can hear them bikes just flew it right outside our front door when we're sleeping. Same with semi trucks downshifting their gears, using a Jake brake that shouldn't be allowed. All of it's noise, and with growth, you get noise. I've seen on the internet searching, which everything on the internet isn't necessarily true, but in 2022, the Census Bureau said there was 3,177 residents within Commercial Point. Don't know if that's strictly in the village or where that is considered, but we are growing. We have grown since then, which creates more traffic, more congestion, more people traveling, more bikers, more truckers. So the noise does get to be an issue, but placing the blame on liquor establishments, I think is a little immature. If they're coming or going to the liquor establishment, yes, pull them over, give them a ticket, throw them out of town, don't welcome them back. That's fine. But I would say that at least 75% of the people that do go to that bike night, that are there late, or go to Station House to raise money, or anywhere else around here, A lot of them just drive by there, but the assumption is, hey, they came from Doughboys. They didn't necessarily stop from there. I seen the speed bikes go through town today. There was 8 or 9 of them flying, making noise. The bar does do a lot. They do a lot of giving back to the community. They raise money. They raise money for people, families, for funerals that they couldn't afford, kids with cancer. They give gifts for Christmas in July. I mean, the money that they give back and the stuff that these bikers do isn't the same bikers that were back in the 60s wearing gang-banging colors. I mean, these are doctors, lawyers, attorneys. I run a trucking company with 150 trucks. I'm complaining about the trucks outside my door. I'm a biker, and I complain about the bike noise. That's just what you get, but I can't blame that on the liquor establishment. They need to obey the laws just like everybody else do when they drive through town. A lot of the things that Doughboys or Station House or any other liquor permit, I'm looking at the thing up here on the TV that shows a new Mexican restaurant wanting to come in. What if this guy has to shut his restaurant down for his outdoor seating at 8 p.m.? Does he really want to bring his business here when he wants to have music on his patio? Because it's going to affect all the houses around that area. So I think when we start talking about what's really valid, I got on the internet and looked at all the 10 above us in population and 10 below us in population. And what I found when you research those noise ordinance for those villages, it's 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, and on weekends it's 11 to 8, which I was shocked it was 8 o'clock on Saturday and Sundays. Give time people to sleep in, I guess. But when you start thinking about second and third shifters, it's unfair to them that they're out riding during the day blowing their engines up. But just other things to think about through this process. Really, I think that's really it. I mean, I'm just trying to speak for not just the liquor establishment, but the village, the people, me myself with that 50-mile-an-hour sign right there. I wish they'd move it past the car wash so it's not right outside my door since I'm in the village. But I understand I have to go to the state for that. That's not something that's a commercial point. But I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. And finally, we have George Knoll.
I'm with Mark. At night, I hear bikers going past my house. I don't live not 2 doors, not 3 doors down from you. I live in the old Terry, I can't remember his last name, the White House right there, 26 East Sutter Street. I hear bikes going past my house. When they get to my house, it sounds like they just gun their engines. Stuff like that wakes me up at night. There's a truck comes through town, it's a white Chevy Silverado, real high, it's got lights underneath it. When he gets in town, he lays on his locomotive horn. I was drinking some lemonade one night down there, they roared. They get him doing that. I don't know who it is, I've heard he's from Nashville. First name Jason, I guess. But I live 2 minutes away from the bars. People complain about the noise. I don't hear anything. Even with or without my hearing aids in. I hear the music, which is all right to me. I do with her sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes I get cans. But with the bars and everything, it don't bother me. It's the people with motorcycles and loud noise, especially my neighbor across the street that lives in the back house. She's got a what the Yukon or whatever it is. It's loud, and she needs to work on her mufflers. It works me at about 5 in the morning. I told the sheriff about it, or the deputy there about it and everything. I've been there 56 years. Used to live in the middle of town. And I think that's all I need to say at the moment.
Okay.
This place is nice.
Thank you.
First time I've been here.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Okay, moving on to business items for tonight's meeting. First item we have a council vacancy. We've had 3 people submit applications showing interest in coming on board with the council. They have, once a council vacancy occurs, the village council has 30 days to replace or to fill the vacancy. If the council does not fill the vacancy within those 30 days, it becomes the responsibility of the mayor with no council consent whatsoever. So typically the council tries to get their vacancies filled. We have 3 people, as I said, who have put in for this. I'd like to call each of them up one at a time and give them about 5 minutes or so if they'd like to speak. and give council a chance to ask any questions they want of them. First one I have up here is Sarah King. Sarah?
Hello. Mayor, council members, I think I've met most of you, but I'm Sarah, for those who don't know. I lived in Southern Point for a few years, and I've lived over in Western for 2 now. And I have an extensive history working in law firms, some of that with government affairs, so I kind of know how this works, but I still have a lot to learn. Just trying to stay engaged with the community and do my part, and just interested in like the Parks Committee and the Land Use Committee, and so I just think that I would be able to help however you would need it. Pretty easy to go along with, so I don't really have to say.
Does anybody have any questions for Sarah this time? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next one I have is Bill Nungister. Bill.
You guys heard me last time screen, I think. I just want to bring a fresh set of eyes that's, you know, that's maybe a little younger into the town. Just this new generation, and it gives a different mindset and a different view of things. And since I've lived in the village my whole life, I kind of care about the village. Sometimes. Depends on the day. But I just want to help being a, just be more active in the community.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Bill at this time?
I do. Would you have a problem voting opposite of me, since you are my son, if you were on council? Or if I voted against you, would that waver your decision in any way?
No,
How's that?
I'm not you. I'm completely separate, and what you do is you. We have different views, and pretty sure everyone knows that when you don't always get along with your dad, and I don't care what you say, I'll say what I want. Whatever I think is what I'll do.
Where's that back with fries?
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, appreciate it. And up, finally, we have Tim Bivens.
Hello, my name's Tim Bivens. I live over in Foxfire, right on Erin Hills Road. Have lived up here for almost a year and a half now. Lived my whole life in Circleville before that. My wife and I decided to downsize. Pretty much fell in love with the community as we came up to the models. My mom actually grew up here, so I had some familiarity with the area, with Commercial Point. But yeah, we pretty much fell in love with the area, and it's just, there's so much to offer here, I think. And I just really think that this town is, you know, it's a welcoming place. It's a place where everybody can, hopefully everybody feels comfortable voicing their opinions, and that they feel like they are at least listened to, that everybody's opinion matters. And I think a town that you know, growing, and sometimes there's growing pains with that. Sometimes you don't want to grow, kind of forced into it. But I think we have a great opportunity to really be a gem among all of the suburbs around Columbus, just because we're at that beginning stage still. You know, a lot of growth has already happened. We're still at that beginning stage where we can do it right, and I just think it's really exciting for our future.
Anybody have any questions for Tim?
I do. When we spoke last time, and I just want to make sure that I received it the way you put it out, it sounded like you were going to be anti-commercial growth, period. Okay.
No, not necessarily. I just want enough right.
Can I ask what you mean by right?
Growth for growth's sake is not necessarily a good thing. Growth's going to happen, and I think we'd be better off to be proactive about it and make sure that we don't end up in a situation where we have a group of houses or neighborhood here with something industrial like right next to it. We're doing the right thing for the future of the village, and we're doing the right thing for protecting the citizens and protecting their property values and their well-being.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we've got 3 people who's offered to serve the village as a council member. At this time, do I have any nominations from the council?
I nominate Sarah King.
Okay, I have a nomination for Sarah King. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second is Jay.
Roll call vote.
Okay, roll call vote.
Need 3 out of 5 to see the new council person.
Ross,
Yes.
Eric,
No.
Andrea,
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. I guess, Sarah, you are our newest council member.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Sarah, if you can come up, take the oath of office, please.
Scoot on up. Okay, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Sarah King,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of Ohio,
the Constitution of Ohio,
and the ordinances of the Village of Commercial Point,
and the ordinances of the Village of Commercial Point,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially discharge my duties
and impartially discharge my duties
as council member of Commercial Point,
as council member of Commercial Point,
Pickaway County,
Pickaway County,
Ohio,
Ohio,
during my term in office,
during my term in office,
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I make a couple comments?
Sure.
I know that we didn't just vote in Bill and Tim, but your passion for the community is really noted. I really hope, Tim, that you consider being on some of the committees for growth going forward. I know we're gonna have planning committees, and with your passion about doing stuff right, that's what we want in the community. So even though you didn't get in today, please join a committee, because a title doesn't always mean everything. Your input on the committees do. And Bill, don't think that your fresh perspective is not gonna be noticed, okay? I love fresh perspective. A lot of young people are known for making history. There will be opportunity for you, and I'll be the first one to vote for you that time, okay? So keep going and keep trying, don't give up, all right?
Well said.
Thank you.
18 months from now, there's an election.
Yes, there is.
4 council seats.
Yes, there is.
Yes, and that is the point well taken. There will be 4 open council seats
Oh,
in
yes.
18 months.
That's right.
Yes. 18
For
months.
18 months.
Why 4?
That gives you plenty of opportunity to knock on
Oh,
doors.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. 2 in the mayor.
So, I mean, plan, be involved. I feel bad for Sarah, because she's thrown into the deep end of the pool right now, and there's no way to catch up. A year from now, she'll know about everything she needs to know. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, and it's unfortunate to have to be in that position, but run quick, and a year and a half from now, there'll be 4 positions that'll be open. So, thank you.
Okay. Moving on to our next item, Land Use Committee. I know that this was discussed at the last committee of the whole meeting. It suggested, let's talk about putting together a 3-member council committee. Is there some discussion on this?
Well, at the CAL, we had said we were going to limit the numbers since we're already going to have to do minutes and stuff, but This doesn't take a motion or anything, right, to make the committee?
Motion, just a motion, it's my motion.
Okay, well, can I make a motion, we make the committee?
Consisting of,
An undetermined amount of council members and community.
the council committee rules state if you're forming an ad hoc committee, it has to be done at any regular meeting, and it consists of 3 members. And the committee is dissolved on December 31st, which at that time come the next year, if you want to reestablish the committee, put the same people on there or do something different or however you want to do it. And once you get a committee formed, if you wish to change the number or the makeup of the committee, that can also be done. But to start with, you need according to the council rules, you need a 3-member committee for starters.
Then make a motion of the committee of the 3 council members solely for this year to lay the groundwork and then look into community members maybe next calendar year. But for now, I believe we discussed just the council members before including anybody else. So make a motion to make the committee consisting of 3 named council members for the rest of this calendar year.
And those named, you must name the members at this point in time.
Oh.
And then once you name your 3 council members, then when you hold your first meeting, you will select who will be chairperson of the committee.
I would be willing. It was Jay's idea. Correct.
I would love to be on that committee.
That's 3. So is your motion for you, Jay and Sarah?
Well, do the other 2, are you either interested or are you okay with those 3?
I'm
That's fine.
okay with those 3, absolutely.
We can attend those meetings because they're posted.
Yes.
So we can participate.
Yes, and can I make that motion as you just stated to the committee and those 3 named
Okay,
people?
we have a motion on the floor
Second.
to form a land use committee consisting of Eric, Jay, and Sarah. Do we have a second? Second by Andrea. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Good.
And the only thing that I will advise you is before you have your first meeting, please notify the front office, and all meetings have to be posted a minimum of 24 hours in advance. So once you figure out what date works for all of you, let us know. We'll get it posted at the posting places. You'll be good to go.
This would be great for Tim, since you're interested in that type
Not
of.
for this calendar year. It's just council
He
members.
can attend.
Oh, right, yes,
Yeah, to
yes.
listen and whatnot,
I
yeah.
just,
So, yeah, you can start getting them to attend and listen if that's your desire, but yeah.
real quick, Bill, I just want to make sure for that committee, because it's not legislation, the 3 of us on it were allowed to vote, correct? We didn't have to abstain.
You are allowed to do anything you want in an open session.
No, I mean, to do the committee.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, because I know when it was legislation for
By
911.
rules, you have to.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure in case that would come into question sometime.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
And I will get you a copy, in fact, we'll get you some stuff, mainly the council rules.
Okay.
So you can look at this, and I'd suggest everyone look through It's section 5 of the council rules, goes through what the committee's duties are, responsibilities, so on and so forth. Okay. Moving forward. Next item is legislation up for a first reading tonight is ordinance 2024-08. An ordinance to rezone 2.7808 plus or minus acres within the village of Commercial Point from neighborhood commercial to general commercial. Let the record reflect, we did a first reading, title only. Up next is resolution.
I'm sorry, please don't leave for a few minutes. Please hang on.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't want you to get away because we need to talk a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, next one up is resolution 08-2024. A resolution authorizing and directing the village administrator to enter into a right of entry agreement with Park Commercial Point Industrial LLC and declaring an emergency.
Alan, can we make a motion to waive those so they can get
I would
on
rather
it?
it not be waived at this point.
Okay.
The agreement that is part of this resolution gives 90 days from the time it goes into effect. And we're not sure. So maybe at the next meeting, waiving the readings might work out real well for us, but we're just kind of holding off until we get a 90 days and not be able to have access to it.
That's something we need to look at extending since we extended other stuff. I mean, for the future. That legislation, is that too soon for a lot of things?
Changing the code from 90 days to 120.
Oh.
That's what he said.
No, that's not the code, that's actually in the agreement, it's part of this legislation.
Oh,
They just put, we have 90 days to get in and get on the property, get off the property. And the 90 days starts when we sign the agreement, so we're not in a hurry to sign the agreement because we're not sure when the well digger can come in yet. Once we get a firm answer from the well digger, which we're thinking the first week of August, if that works out with us, then we'll go ahead and try to pass it possibly at the next council meeting, and then that will start the 90-day clock. And as we've talked, probably the big issue, if we need to extend that a little bit, if we go back to them or something like that. Once we get in there and start to work, but
So
we don't want the clock starting too early.
if we waived it without the emergency language, it would be 30 extra days anyways, right?
Yeah, but since we've got emergency language on it, we can take a clean shot at one time. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Okay, moving on is, next item is resolution 09-2024, a resolution approving the Pickaway County 911 final plan and directing the mayor to notify the county commissioners of such approval and declaring an emergency.
This one, we do need to move on.
Yes, we got a notice came from the Pickaway County EMA director, and he requested this, and this was like a last minute thing that came to us. We have to have this by the middle of June, I believe. So
Motion to waive.
have a motion to waive the 3 readings by Ross. Second by Audrey.
Do we have discussion before we vote?
Discussion.
They didn't really let us know what that plan is with what they gave us. They gave us the outline, but it didn't give a lot of answers as to how villages are going to fall into things when there are failures and when there aren't. I mean, I know it's an emergency, but I feel like this EMA director has not done his due diligence to let us know where we fall. I mean, they just went over the outline again. They didn't go over a specific plan of action for this year. So I would like to, give administration a chance to hear from him as to why this plan's better and why it needs to, adopted.
And where this came from, we got a letter or an email came from the EMA director.
Right.
And he had this, what I've given all of you, this was approved by their committee or their board. And if we don't respond by the due date, the counts as a no vote from Commercial Point against their plan. So this is what we're looking at. This is all they gave us. This has been signed off on. If you notice, there were signatures on this plan that they've already approved, their committee and so on. But they have to have so many people sign off on it from the townships. And this has been signed off on by, looking closely, Jay Whipple, okay, he's county commissioner, Mayor Michelle Blanton of Circleville, Ronnie Jan, the township trustee, Roger Cook, a trustee, and a couple council or commissioner, second commissioner, Gary Scherer is on there. So they have already passed this plan. It's just now us being part of the plan, we can vote yes on the plan, we can vote no on the plan. As far as negotiating the plan, it's done. And we didn't basically have a part of it.
Right. Because he had told us we were going to, and then they decided they needed one council member, and they went with, I think it was South Bloomfield or somewhere. Even though we're the largest landmass area.
So that's pretty much where it is. Any other discussion? We have a motion on the floor and a second to suspend the 3 readings. Any other discussion? Roll call vote to suspend the 3 readings.
Jay,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Eric,
No.
Yeah, you call
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Now do I have a motion to adopt resolution 09-2024?
Make a motion to adopt.
We have a motion to adopt by Jay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ross. Roll call vote to adopt.
Sarah,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Eric,
No.
Andrea,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Motion passed. Next item we have for a first reading is resolution 10-2024, a resolution directing the village administrator to enter into an agreement with the Payment Group LLC for a credit card program and declaring an emergency. This was discussed in the previous committee of the whole, is basically to get so we can take credit cards for court fines. Do we have a motion to waive the three readings? Motion by Andrea, is there a second? Second. Second by Jay. Roll call vote to waive the three readings.
Andrea,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Motion passed. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 10-2024?
Motion to adopt.
Have a motion to adopt by Jay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sarah. Roll call vote to adopt.
Eric,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
Motion passed. Moving on down the agenda, up next is some pending administrative action. We have some monies that need moved, and this was a result of the audit that we've just went through and some suggestions of how they would like to have things done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first one we have, this is pending administrative action. We do not have to waive readings on these whatsoever. So resolution 11-2024, a resolution to transfer monies within other special revenue fund from the other debt service account 2903-850-790-2504 and transfer said monies to the other contractual service account 2903-490-399-2504.
Motion to accept.
I have a motion to accept by Ross. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Roll call vote to adopt.
Ross.
Yeah.
Jay,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Motion passed. Next one up is resolution 12-2024, a resolution to transfer monies within the other special revenue fund from the other debt service account 2903-850-790-2503 and transfer said monies to the other contractual services account 2903-490-399-2503. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Motion by Eric. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Andrea. Roll call vote to adopt.
Andrea,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
And the last item we have up here is resolution 13-2024, a resolution to transfer monies within the other special revenue fund from the other debt service account 2903-850-790-2503 and transfer said monies to the accounting and legal fees account 2903-715-341-2503. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Motion by Jay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sarah. Roll call vote to adopt.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrea,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Jay.
Yes.
Motion passed. We're now down to additional business. Is there any additional business?
I have one thing. Thank you, ladies, for staying, because I need to get some information and work through this. I apologize that I'm trying to look around here. But we need to make sure that there's not a misunderstanding about this. Here's what the issue is. I've known Mike enough years and dealt with him when I was village administrator, so we have a relationship already. They do a lot of good. I do not doubt that at all, but that's not related to the issue, okay? The issue that's at hand here is the fact that this is a bedroom community and we have noise that is exceeding reasonable limits in the majority opinion. Now, here's what I want, I know, and I appreciate, I see what you're saying. But let me ask you this. We talked about having a firefighter appreciate thing in the alley, right? Let me ask you, how loud does the music have to be in order for you to have that event?
Louder within 100 feet.
How loud does the music have to be in order to have the event?
I think at a reasonable level for a crowd.
Well, normally when you have an event like that, you have a band or somebody come and that brings a lot more people.
Okay.
Like that's the whole thing too, when it comes to the music. It's not just like the jukebox.
Okay,
It's
now,
entertainers that they've hired, that they employ.
and again, this is what I'm expecting, what we're going to be talking about is that you have special things going on. Is there a reason we have to have them outside?
Well, there's not a lot of group inside. I mean,
No, there's not a lot of room inside, and I guess from my perspective, Ross, and I respect that you're asking these questions, and I thank you for it, but I guess my concern or my question is this. Whether it's 81, whether it's Doughboys, whether it's another establishment, you know, what Doughboys does, and I'm just using them for this example, they've been doing for the last 15 years in this community, literally every single event. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I can only state that because that's the amount of time I've lived here. I didn't live here before then. And so I know that to be factually true. But now in the last 4 years, it's an issue. It was never an issue before that. So what has changed? What has changed in that time frame? Because before that, I know for a fact, before that stage was even built in the backyard of Doughboys, my husband played on the cement that faced Becky's house. Now the stage faces my parents' house, your house, that my parents don't even hear him.
So you're out front now.
So my point in the matter is this, Ross, that nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The same musicians, the same entertainment, the same events have been going on for years, but yet now it's an issue. It was never an issue before.
Okay.
So why now?
Well, and I've been here, I've been in the village now for 55 years. And we've had hangings, we've had bar fights, but we've never had a noise complaint. We never had a noise ordinance until this became necessary. So something has brought this to the forefront, and it is from several sources. I've got 7 people that talk to me on a regular basis about the volume, about the
volume's always been the same, Ross.
No, I don't believe that at all, because my hearing aid, I can't even tune it out without my hearing aids. The volume is not the same. Now, I go back to my original question. How is your activity going to be thwarted by not having the high pitch sound? By reducing the volume, how is that going to curtail your activities?
I think at the end of the day, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree because I think it's all perspective. I think your perspective and my perspective and our perspective is always gonna be completely different. And unfortunately, 7 people out of a community of 10,000 shouldn't be dictating what it should be. And I agree with Mike Havens, whatever it is, it should be for the entire community. And my husband runs the entertainment for the men's club, and I will be damning him right now for saying what I'm about to say. But they sell beer over there, so that's a liquor establishment. And if they can't have music outside past 10 p.m., then I'll be damned if they should be allowed to at the homecoming.
I hear what you're saying. They have a license, and they have an activity for 4 days.
It doesn't matter, Ross.
Yes, it does, because this is every week. This is every week.
It's one day a
She
week,
said
Ross.
something about my house. I don't even live close to her house, so don't bring my.
Stop, wait, stop.
Okay, stop.
This is light.
Right now,
This is a light, this is light discussion.
this is where Ross is running this discussion right now. There will be one person who will speak at a time and only one person. Go ahead,
Thank you,
Ross.
Mayor. The thing that I'm trying to understand is how can we have the entertainment you want, continue the activities that you have, and not have it so that it's so obtrusive? Now, I don't know where you live, but I know, I'm sure that when you go home, you go to a quiet, peaceful place and what? Well, people who live behind the establishment do not have that privilege. You know, they go home in the evening and the noise is that's like Red River, like Red Rock Canyon, that whole basin there amplifies sound and it's just ferocious.
Ross, I live at 21 Main Street, and that sound would echo across against the bar into my house. I can't even hear what they're saying now. And 2 years ago, I used to be able to enjoy the music from my porch, and that was great. It's not like it's NWA or something crazy. It's like good old country.
It wasn't good old country Thursday night because the music that somebody was playing was vulgar, foul, abusive. They talked about murdering cops. There was somebody was.
For a motorcycle.
I don't care who it's from.
I don't agree with, I
Well, wait a minute.
agree with you, I agree with you.
Your customers, your clientele are responsible to your behavior standards. If you let something like this go on, then we need to stop that whole behavior.
But we can't, somebody just
Make
close
those
the.
People come into any establishment and the behavior is controlled by the establishment. The behavior is set or modeled by the owners, the operators. If something's not appropriate, it has to be changed, or you ask them not to be there anymore. I mean, this is not a new thing. This is just something that has come to a head here in the last, like you said, 4 years. And this is something, well, if you don't amplify the sound, I don't care what you do. I mean, if you're playing banjo music and bass fit, I don't
If
care.
it's been shut down before, when there's no amplification also.
But there's been never any of that.
If there's no amplification, I should not be hearing what I'm hearing.
Was it a music event that was shut down?
It was Thursday night is this week and last week. This week was
You're not wrong.
it was unfortunate.
So there was somebody outside on the street.
It wasn't.
So if it's.
And so that was not a customer of yours.
But what I'm saying is like if it would be like somebody pulling up to the gas station and blaring their music, but you're telling the gas station that their responsibility.
If it's being played on their premises, then they bear some responsibility.
Okay,
If you're serving,
and I say the village
But
is
if they're
responsible
busy,
for
they
the
serve
speakers and
Yes.
loud music.
that's correct, we
Yes,
are.
ma'am.
But
We are responsible for
it's
speaking.
realistic. It's just traffic also.
It's
People
not
listening
just-
loud.
Can I ask a question?
It's not just traffic, privilege.
Thank you. So it started around 4 years ago. The issue is the loudness. And this is the same thing, but it's every Thursday. This is that issue?
Yes.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday is the key, is the big, yeah.
Can I ask us a couple of questions? I just have a couple questions.
Well-
If you don't mind.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can I ask
finish.
one more?
Go back.
Okay, can I bring it up just for thought? If the noise ordinance, let's say, I'm not saying one way or another, this is hypothetical, okay? If we have a noise ordinance from Monday through Friday, is it feasible and possible to move your Thursday to the weekend? Whatever activities you have on Thursday nights, we can't move it to a weekend night?
But we still have we still have the noise ordinance. Where the confusion is the times aren't just for those two liquors, it's for all liquor establishments. But the other times are covered by the 150 feet. The times are they're not allowed to have any music heard outside of their property lines.
And we end our music at 9:30, half an hour before we're supposed to on Thursday.
The issue is 150 feet.
Okay, that was.
Yeah, the
all
fee
right,
thing is
so Sarah has a question.
I'm sorry.
Recognize
Yes,
Sarah.
sir.
No, I just wanted to ask a few questions, like in an effort to like see if there was like any kind of compromise. But like, if you guys have bikers out on Thursday night in front of the establishment, do you guys have signs up to say like?
We do.
Okay,
All right, so I think like if you're warning them, like really that's all you can do. I mean, I hear what you're saying, Ross, but like the fact that they have signs posted, I think is a really good sign. So if we were to change like the hours or the yards, like just to hear your feedback, like what is your ideal hours during the week and on weekends, and then what is your ideal like yards?
I mean, we're comfortable with the
Or whatever.
9:30. We're,
Okay.
the 9:30 on Thursday.
Okay, I heard this discussion, that's still not the issue. That's still not the issue. The issue is the noise ordinance, not the days that you have noise, right?
But, okay, so it being the noise ordinance, they're claiming no, it's not them. They're claiming that it's the motorcyclists. They have the signs up and the cyclists aren't doing it. Do we have an officer posted there
We can't.
every Thursday?
We can't because that's harassment of a liquor establishment in Target.
Well, but it's not the, wait, but it's not the, we're not targeting the liquor establishment, we're targeting the bad behavior of the patron.
But the perception is that we would be targeting the establishment. Now, to get them there, if you have bikers that are doing that, you can call and say, hey, we've got a person on a bike out front that is making way too much noise. They're not looking at our signs. Could you come deal with that? And then the community would see that you're doing your due diligence to try to stop that behavior.
Like maybe having like, it sounds really crazy, but a noise bouncer, right? So at clubs, you know, there's a bouncer. If someone gets rowdy, they're gonna toss them out. What if you have a noise bouncer on the outside?
They're parked on the street. They wouldn't have any jurisdiction.
But if they have a sign,
Because that goes
how are
back
you
to
not
Mr.
gonna?
Whittier. We don't have any jurisdiction to go out and tell them to turn their bike music down because it's on the
Right.
street.
But if,
So it's then, yeah.
but you know, as a business, that you're going to be the one that is being said, oh, hold on. So if you call and it's documented that you've made a complaint about that, then it can be known that, well, okay, Doughboys is doing their part. You know, now it falls on the chief if they're not enforcing it. So it takes it off of the establishment and puts it on the law enforcement, which is honestly where it should be. How did we get to this over 4 years? In my opinion, lack of enforcement for ordinances that we've had for a long time.
Do you really want a bar that's gonna call on their patrons and tell them, support their patrons?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying
And I
to,
think you're contradicting yourself.
I think
Quite
it's
frankly,
really
because
community
how are you
scale.
gonna tell me to hold my patrons accountable, but then I can't hold them accountable when they're in a public street?
well, but that's the Ohio, that's good.
If you don't sell them beer, they won't be your patrons.
And they hop on the bike and they crank their radio up and they take off.
If they just take off, that's the problem.
Once they take,
Run out the door.
once they take off, then that belongs to the chief. But here's the key, here to me, this is a key part of this ordinance. It simply says, no person shall knowingly or recklessly cause any amplified sound, live music, recorded music, or other noise to cross real property boundaries at such a volume to disrupt the normal daily activities, including but not limited to sleeping, studying, dining of persons within a residence, or disrupt the daily normal activities, including but not limited to work of persons within the place of business. That's this.
Going back to the liquor license,
Liquor option has,
at my house, I can blast my music and,
no. This applies to you at home. Yeah.
but you guys just said earlier in the meeting
It didn't apply to
that it did not
graduation
apply to graduation parties or people at home.
the times.
Those are special permit. Those are special permit issues.
Unless you have a permit.
You get a special
So
permit.
everyone has to have a permit for a bonfire. Everyone has to have a permit for a party.
For a party, if it's going to be something that,
Expending resources that, I'm sure he does not have extra resources to enforce this kind of stuff. You know?
But and how do you justify what's a party? It could be 10 loud people or 20 quiet people.
It doesn't matter if it's disturbing somebody else. And what he read, there's not times, and that has been, our previous noise ordinance was in that section, other than the 150 feet, was almost verbatim.
So that everybody that has a pool out back, when they go out to use their pool,
we're gonna write them a ticket because of their music style.
Or their kids are screaming?
After.
I would hope you would invite your neighbors. But
Russ, that's not funny. The point
Not
is
all
that
it is. I got kids screaming across the road, I can hear them, I got music.
I get you.
so that's annoying to me. I don't have small children.
Then you,
I don't listen to it.
then you should call and report
Who doesn't
that.
have time for that? That's ridiculous.
We'll
This
take- we'll
all
take
being
care of this
traffic
time.
up and down 104.
Well, I-
It's not a better use of his time.
I think,
So I have a question, one more question, please. So it is so the problem is the loudness before 9:30 of just, well, hold on a second, of the events or the bikers or both? Is it events or the bikers?
It's just
or both?
Doughboys.
Well, hold on, I wanna, I get we're all passionate, and I'm trying to look at everything from everyone's side, I wanna be fair. Is the major complaint the events, the bikers, or both? Which one? Chief or Ross?
it's the noise.
No, I need to know the cause of noise, because if we can identify the
It's-
cause of the noise, we can address it.
It
But
changes.
when you're up front, looking at everything, then I can tell you the source of the noise.
Okay,
But since I'm 2 blocks away from here, I can't see
you
it.
can't. So,
Chief gets the calls.
I have a question.
all right, so then that's
When
true.
you're done.
Yeah, Chief, is it the establishment or the bikers at the establishment?
So the calls that we typically get, the way the calls, to my understanding, that they're coming in, they're saying, hey, I have an issue with the noise, and it's coming from the bars. So
It's
it
the,
could be the thing you run into, and the way we got to do is I can't just in general show up and go, okay, the call come in this general area, so everybody here line up and get your tickets.
yeah,
So we got to pinpoint who
right,
the perpetrator is. Okay, and perpetrator is a strong word for a ticket, but
yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So if I get there and yes, if I have
Get a video recorded.
the establishment
I got a decibel meter, it's fine.
that's creating so much noise that it's violating said ordinance,
Downloaded it.
then the way it is, the person that's running the establishment would be the one that could be charged with it. If it's the individual, and I had this, because we had one night when every law enforcement department, it looked like in the state, was here. We were looking at something totally different, not enforcement of the noise ordinance. But when we were here, we did get a noise complaint at 9:30. We went in, made contact, they shut it down, the music stopped and everything. I'm in my cruiser, Patron comes out, gets on his motorcycle, starts revving it up, cranks the music up on loud, and made a comical attempt to peel out. So as soon as it did it, even people that were there said he's about to get everything he deserves, because I had my lights took off, stopped him, he got charged with it. That was the person. So it's really, the complaints are coming in, or a generalized complaint that noise is coming from over at this establishment. But we can't just say, okay, it's instantly the establishment.
Right,
We have to figure out who it is. And
right.
we have this distinct disadvantage
Of
when
not
we
being
show up at a mobile billboard, that it's like, oh, everybody turns it down and stops. It's like the speed complaints we get in the neighborhood. I go set these neighborhoods. I do. I'll go sit in the neighborhood. I'll literally have the person come out. Well, you're never going to catch me in a marked police car. And I said, well, in the state of Ohio, by the Ohio Administrative Code, I have to be in a marked patrol car. I'm not dressing up like a bush and hiding behind a tree with my laser gun. We have to be in a uniform of the day. We have to be in a marked car. So yeah, when we do show up, we're not running into the noise that gets shut down at that point.
No, it always stays at the same level, I promise you, Adam.
And
So,
Never gets turned down.
well, would you be, if you can't park there, can you cruise there?
we have,
We have officers going by the bars every hour, and I say bars. They're going up and down Hickory Alley, Front Street, and not only the bars, but also Nana and Paps.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of young kids like to go there.
That's right.
And they are circling every hour.
Okay.
Every hour they circle.
But we still have the complaints, even though we have it every hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a question. If they're agreeable to a car sitting in that triangle area across the way, that's still targeting?
I have no way to do that because we're focusing on noise ordinance. In the past 2 weeks, we've probably responded to 6 domestic violence calls.
Okay. I
Um,
understand that.
We have a lot more other things that's
Yeah.
going on for a potential 8-officer department. This, Commercial Point, the guys that's been, Ross, Eric, the mayor, people that's been here for 20-some years, this isn't the Commercial Point 25 years ago, just the amount of stuff that we have going on. Used to get a part-time chief and a handful of reserves. Now there's 8 full-time officers, and my officers over this weekend, my second shift guy, he just got his rear end handed to him on the amount of calls that he got.
Yeah.
He's having arrest. When we get tied up on arrest, that's 4 hours gone right there.
So my other question is, so have the calls for Doughboys on Thursdays been worse in the last 6 months, 1 year? How long has it really been going on?
I would say over the past year, they have increased.
Okay, and then my second question is, and I think this is important for us to know, is it all the same callers all the time that are calling to complain about it?
I can't give a definitive answer, so I don't want to try to hit on it. I would have to go look and have the paper in front of me.
Yeah, I would just personally want to, I think council should know that.
Yeah, because one thing I have to be careful on about that information is if somebody calls and they're classifying themselves as a victim, I cannot give that
Well, no,
information
I
out under
understand
state law.
I wouldn't be interested in names. I would just be interested in a yes or no if it's the same people.
Yeah, before I sit here and tell you an answer on the world to see, I'd have to look at my documentation and see where the addresses, the numbers are coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being
This
said,
is very helpful. We need to.
I think this has been helpful. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of input.
It's good, thank you.
And all of council has been asked to put your suggestions for a new noise ordinance in writing and get it to Bill prior to the next council meeting. And that'll mean the day of or the day before.
Right.
He would like to be able to look through it as well.
Right.
So council, you've heard from the people. I'd suggest if you've got additional questions, get their name, get their phone number, find out what's going on, and talk to them in between now and the next meeting. And do your homework. It's now in the council's hand to do your homework, figure out a solution to this and how you wish to proceed with this.
Mayor, one last point, is this ordinance is for the foreseeable future. Tonight, we have made it about one establishment. This affects all liquor establishments and all people if we make a change to the section with the times. So let's remember that that's everybody that has it. That's the golf course, everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just here. So let's remember as a legislative body that it's for every liquor establishment. It's not just for the one that has been, pointed at this evening.
It's only for your house, Eric.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
It's only liquor establishment.
we have another additional item before we adjourn the meeting.
I'd like to publicly thank and recognize Jim for his work on a matter that we had to take, unfortunately, through the Circleville Municipal Court zoning violation that had all of the forms that you guys saw in the CAL meeting that have recently been updated, but 18 different violations. Chief had to go out and actually serve a citation. We just got word from the court a few days ago. We got a successful conviction on the zoning matter, and hopefully that will bring it to an end. We will be repaid all of our expert witness fees and witness fees, and we'll get a fine, and hopefully we'll get the situation remedied. But Jim, I wanted to thank you publicly for all your work on this.
Well done.
Thank you,
Good
Jim.
job,
Well
Jim.
done. Thank you.
Is there any other additional business?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn by Eric. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Andrea. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Pass the peaches.